It's the VMix Audio Text. Your boy Novanta live with the
Oh, hey there, Twitch chat. We're back again, but you can see this lovely face over to my left. Your right is certainly not at Soka, but it's the wonderful Novanta who just graced us at NECC 1 and is coming to join me down here in NECC 2 as we have more Week 6 Rocket League action. Novanta, we're back!
Yeah, look, the combination is here, man. B means best. So glad to be with the other stream. We're going to have a good time.
And so looking at these teams, we finally buck the trend of a 2-3 playing a 3-2, but instead we have a 1-4 playing a 2-3. We have SIUC Black in the side of 1-4 and Blue Gold Esports A in that 2-3 record. So both of these teams have not had the starts that they wanted, but both of them, Novanta, are coming off of 3-0 sweeps.
Well, momentum is good. Now's the best time to do it as we head to that playoff push. A wonderful record isn't too spectacular, but it's more than enough time to make up lost ground in the case of SIUC. Let's hope it happens for them starting tonight.
Well, as you kind of look at both of these squads, I kind of really start to wonder, you know, when you come off of a 3-0 win, either you full on got to play your Rocket League or the other team had an off day. And so both of these teams had one of those situations happen, and they're going to be riding, as the joke as it is, the high horse. They are feeling confident. They're going to be coming in and hopefully playing in game one as confident as you can be. And so I know these guys are locked in and ready to go because we are 15 minutes early, Novanta. This is sometimes pretty rare here for the teams to be ready. So I'm certainly ready. I think they're starting to get ready too.
Yeah, everyone's chopping at the bit. Let's take a look at these rosters here, starting with SIUC. Here in the Challengers Navy division, we have ourselves the roster of Lurk, Jakers, and Matt. Junior, sophomore, and junior. A little bit of that kind of mid-tier, not so many seniors, not so many freshmen. You know, middle-aged.
Don't say it like that.
I'm actually middle-aged. All over the spectrum of college majors. And so I'm looking to see what kind of experience we bring onto the pitch today.
And then looking on the other side of the pitch as we don't even get a chance to go in. Blue Gold and SIUC all ready to start. I told you they were raring to go. And we can't even get through the rosters. These guys just locked in. And so both teams not wanting to get off to a bad start here. 3-0 last week. Who can come off to the best start? A chance coming through. And Matt doing it for SIUC.
This is like a wrestling match when the first bulls happen before the bell starts. But why not there if you have an opportunity? Matt Emp makes quick work of the clock, and that first goal is being scored for SIUC.
And that is the way to do it, Novanta. It is the little punch that people aren't expecting for. And everyone has a plan until they get hit in the mouth. And Blue Gold having to find that answer now, getting on the offense here for about the first time in this first 30 seconds or so. A pass attempt midfield. He got it over Lurk, but Matt is there. Tizzy waiting for it and reads it well. It's 1-1.
The pop was kind of unfortunate, but it almost seemed that just an abandonment after the fact. Matt just goes, whoops, sorry, guys. And then that would just instantly punish, and now we have ourselves a tie game.
It's those moments when you see the slam dunk coming and you try to get out of the way so you're not in the picture. But with 4:20 left on the clock, both teams scoring, and Matt Em looking for another one off the kickoff. Enemies is there, though, to deny. Lurk off the backboard here, but there is a very quick touch from a Blue Gold player. That's off the crossbar, as I believe that was Jakers looking for that one. Matt getting a shot that's going to be near post. Enemies not even letting it hit his own backboard. As Blue Gold starting to be put under siege as the first real offensive possession starting to develop here.
Yeah, that first minute was kind of helter-skelter on both sides. Everyone just want to get on the board as soon as they can, but now we get the first punches, the first blows, and everything's settling down just a bit. Doesn't mean there's any lack of aggression as the demo happens in the background there, but you definitely see that both teams have their formation, have their strategies, and let's see who can employ theirs one first and more effectively.
And effectiveness is really less of a term on what's really working and more or less what can you do against what your opponents are doing. In Novanta, Lurk off the backboard here looking for a little bit of a self-setup, and that is a beautiful pitch. I think that's going to go in. No, it goes off. The cleanup can't follow it up, and Blue Gold just almost had the goal of the century, a pass midfield. That's going to be the Jakers who does it. SIUC back on top.
What a tragedy in two acts there. That was a long bomb going one way, got stopped by the woodwork. It went sailing the other way with a pass with authority. And it was a goal scored, yeah, but the direction we weren't thinking. SIUC is out in front.
And it's just that unfortunate notion there. If you can't get yours to go and then the immediate turnaround means you're out of position, it opens the door for that quick counterattack. And Jakers not wanting to allow said counterattack. He's beat one. He's going to try and beat three here, but he can't beat Jakers who keeps it away. Lurk can't catch to it. Madam waiting underneath it here. Slow touch as that ball rose away. BD trying to win it and does, and makes it 2-2.
Well, we got ourselves a contest, do we? This one here is a little bit kind of cheeky, kind of savagery, just being able to stick with the ball, not rotating out, and just being that, I don't know, you call that a shoulder block, that tackle. Why not there? And we have ourselves once again a tie game. Yeah, check, body check, a tie game.
Well, it's deuces wild here before the midway point, so back in equilibrium once again, and both of these teams kind of teetering back and forth as this seesaw of momentum, looking to kind of maybe find one team as a home, but neither team holding on to it for too long. Inimus up and over 2. That's a beautiful pass, but that is Jakers so quick, like a Venus flytrap shutting to make that one go away. This is a touch coming on. Matt off the backboard. Lurk unable to get to this one as a shot, but he keeps that possession on.
You have a Venus flytrap soundboard over there? I heard a smack. That was pretty cool. That's production value, baby. But you're right, man. If you have an opportunity to stop a defense, why not? Here's a shot that could have been in if not for a bit of inches there as we're saying this. And it's hit another level there, Foo.
I like to talk with my hands sometimes, as I got too animated there, as that was almost too animated on the defense. Another double commit, but Lurk and company keeping the pressure on. They're not allowing these powerful touches to dissuade them. Tizzy unable to get here. That's a dangerous ball midfield, and it's kind of a handshake right now as both teams are just taking turns taking the hardest crack at it and then watching it hit the ceiling and then trying to find something off of it. Technically on there, but Matt M denied at that point in front of the net.
Yeah, both formations are pretty solid, but nothing for nuance, right? You see like giant blunt instruments going back and forth, hurting bombs, if you will. And it's fun to watch, but I wonder how long they keep up this pace.
Listen, no finesse, only smack, and that seems to be the plan right now. Both teams trading haymakers, and I think we've only seen a pair of them land each. And a flick attempt there from BD, but he goes a bit to the side. And so that's one that you kind of get with that Fennec, that with that flat top of the visual, it's hard to hit that touch. And okay, BD going under his teammate. I thought Tizzy for sure was going to touch that, but a pass midfield. Lurk waiting behind Matt, and this could be the one that they want. They got the goalie out of net, but it stays up too high for too long.
Well, that's unfortunate there, but it was pretty much good instead of not scoring that goal. But when you beat the defense, you have the possession. It makes you wonder whether or not you try it again because everything else pretty much worked in your favor except for the actual exchange.
I mean, that is 2 times, Novanta, that we've seen it in front of the net where a 50 would put it in, and neither team got it to work. So half a minute left to play in game number 1, and equilibrium is still held. A shot coming on, but Tizzy is there to find Lurk. Matt M looking for near post play. Oh, he goes far post and able to break the tie. SIUC scoring first and maybe last.
Well, that is Rocket League 101. If straight-on shots on goal don't work, how about some angles, baby? Why not? And here's one from the left side that I couldn't calculate with a protractor, but it works out for them. 3-2 SIUC.
Matt M, second of the game, and that could be the one that does it as Lurk wins a huge touch, keeping it towards this blue-gold third. Jakers, backboard play. They're looking to make one final goal or one final possession. Matt M given so much freedom here and credence to stay on the ball. Inimus looking for a play. 3-2-1 is going to be up to BD. He gets it up high. But that's a double commit here. No communication. The touch is still on. Matt keeps it down, but Tizzy is denied as that crossbar sends it down.
That crossbar doesn't give anything about whose side it's on. It's in for itself. It's in business for itself. And it was late second theatrics. We have ourselves a victor after one game. Let me ask you this. What did we just witness?
I mean, we just saw late game heroics from both sides. The offense should have been stifled. There's just no reason that ball should find its way. A double commit means it should be over, Novanta. But with the third player committing and having a chance for that shot, Tizzy trying to find it. And then the defense was ready. They didn't overcommit. They realized they can make the save and pushing it off that crossbar to hold for SIUC. So SIUC able to get out to an early lead, counter back, and then get that third and final goal to go in.
Well, a cynical person would say, why leave it up to the crossbar? Humbug. But hey, man, if it works out for you, why not? Game 2 is here in the offing, and I wonder what Blue Gold has up their sleeve to make sure they can make ourselves an equalizer. We didn't see much finesse in that first game. I wonder if they're going to play some of that, maybe some short passes, maybe some solo plays, maybe a surprise Cirque du Soleil type goal, hopefully for them in the game 2.
Well, the big thing here is you saw both of these teams starting to use the top of that sidewall more, trying to come from more stealing-ish plays, and so you wonder which team can find those infield passes sooner and who can knock on that door with the midfield plays quicker, because that is how you open up a transitional drive. You get a pass to a clear into a shot.
Absolutely. 5 minutes on the clock. The fastest 5 minutes in esports starts right now.
And 5 minutes on the clock, Novanta, in one of my favorite stadiums in Forbidden Temple. I always love just the actual everything of this map. It was one of my favorites when it first came out. And so you have all 6 of these cars positioning themselves right now. Matt M and SIUC was very aggressive midfield, so Jakers gets dunked on by Tizzy as they seem to have overstepped.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw that from my point of view, but Tizzy saw it, just went broadside to be an absolute wall right in front of goal. Sometimes just being there is all enough, and that was a redirect needed. Blue goal is out in front.
Blue goal this time able to get their stamp on the first one and get first blood. Just over 30 seconds here passing as that ball once again being pushed back by a SIUC black player, and they put that more pressure on Matt M playing slow here. He's going to try and flip it over Tizzy. Tizzy waits beautifully, but he can't get up to it. Matt keeps it low, goes high on one, and then goes low on the other.
Well, I don't know which one's more embarrassing, getting dunked on or getting shoved upon. This right here was just stuff in the mailbox. Hello, and we have ourselves a tie game there, folks.
I mean, that is just insanity of being able to see through the smoke and mirrors and get over one and then stay low knowing you don't have the boost, but have that speed and conservation of momentum. Tied up, SIUC looking for another one. That's a bit too high for BD to get to. And a dangerous spot here for Enemies, as that's a 50 coming out, but it stays on the defensive serve for Blue Gold A. Tizzy 50'd well until it's over to BD. He wants to find a clear and does, but he needs to get the second touch a bit further, intercepted by Matt. And so, SIUC staying on offense. Jakers looking far post and puts it in the middle of that.
Well, that was picture perfect. Off the wall, kind of in front of the net. All you need to be somewhat there, but Jakers is there with a little bit of precision, but we're kind of missing in that first game to put it right down center, Broad Street, 2-1 SIUC.
SIUC back where they want to be, back with a lead. Didn't score first here, but have scored 2 unanswered in probably just under a minute here, and a dunk coming from Jakers to put more pressure on and try and find another one as they try to extend this lead. BD with the clear, and Enemies playing low, playing slow. It's a 1v2. Jakers into this corner once again. Enemies wants to get in this one, but no real clear. Means that ball is just dangerously floating in front of the net. Tizzy has to kind of panic clear that one out. So it's Jakers and SIUC Black continuing to have pressure, continuing to position themselves well, and try and steal these boosts and steal these possessions.
Well, that's the most important thing, is like you have the lead, you have the pressure. A 1-goal lead is not really much in Rocket League, especially with so much time left on the clock, but to do the extra things, that means being a bit more aggressive, closing down the space between your opponents, and taking that boost is really how you frustrate a side to make sure you maintain that lead.
It's all about maintaining or regaining, and it is maintaining here for SIUC as they regained the lead as they try to hold on. Enemies playing slow there, tried to bait out Matt, but there it is. We talked about it last game, playing that back post defense, and this is the way to do it, but the chip shot coming from BD, it kisses the crossbar and goes in.
Well, this right here was a lazy attempt to clear it away. Maybe they thought the crossbar would have catched this one, but I'm telling you, that crossbar works for no one. And it was pretty much a beneficiary here for BD. We have ourselves yet another tie game there, Foof.
And he got the old 9-iron out and just chipped it over in the very end, you know, just a little wedge touch to go over that last defender, and now we're deuces wild. And this is a familiar spot, too, and just over the midway point, BD had a dunk but could not find it. And so, equilibrium has been established, but it's a kind of wobbly, wibbly one where both teams are taking these momentum swings and trying to ride it and hold on to these leads as fleeting as they are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about this. You got to make sure you don't put yourselves too much in that either being super comfortable or being super aggressive. It's an act of balance here to make sure that you close out a space, maintain your defensive concentration, or else you're going to have yourselves a very, very bad night here.
A very bad night for either of these squads is what they do not want coming off of such big wins last week in such commanding fashions. Is now Blue Gold putting a touch on. Animus was looking for the cheeky redirect or bump off the backboard, but could not find it. Tizzy back past to Matt. Matt looking forward to lurk, but Animus just stepping in front of that one like a corner in zone coverage to pick it off. Keeping the pressure on. A shot coming from BD, and there were 2 players there, but it does not matter.
Well, this right here was a little bit of a shot that I didn't think was going to go in. It was a sneaky one, a cheeky one, but that's all you need. Connecting with your teammate right in front of the net, that is moi, chef's kiss.
I mean, it's not a pick 6, but it's a pick 1. That's what I'll say. Just the soft handoff off the interception into an immediate goal.
Yeah.
Like the slow play here, Blue Gold looking for the flick, and that was just... BD was enjoying the view, I think. Didn't want to overcommit on that one, knowing they have a goal lead. Wasn't the third, but not looking to overcommit in that secondary role. Matt looking for a touch midfield. That's technically going to be credited as a shot, but it's denied again. Animus has 5 shots on this one, just putting a lot of pressure onto this SIUC squad. And so BD and company have kind of built off this pressure that starts in their own end, finds just a ridiculous clear off a pinch, and then chases it back down and forces more and more saves out of this squad.
Now, typically, I would say when you have those so many shots, well, as I say that, Blue Gold makes quick work of that one there. I was going to say you have so many shots, but none of them are going really threatening net. You're just basically wasting your time and giving away possession. But as I say that, giving away possession right to someone who can shoot it like that dead shot right down the middle. We have ourselves a 4-2 advantage favoring Blue Gold.
What's the old saying? Rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9, because if you only go 0 for 9, that means you stop shooting. And so, you know, the confidence is still there, Novanta. Never shake it. Hold on, because even if that shot doesn't go in for you, it could position it for your teammates to find that second and third chance. And Matt M biting into this lead that is a beautiful risk.
Yeah, that M stands for magician. I didn't think there'd be a chance to have that in there, but that was perfect. Top 90, top shelf. We have ourselves a 1-goal difference.
I mean, that just bites into it, and it looks like SIUC weren't done and out, but it was going to be really difficult for them, and the scoring immediately, it's just like it's a sigh of relief for this side in the blue as they kind of just now have the position on 1 offensive possession, 1 offensive touch. BD and Blue Gold, though, they just got to kill the clock. You know, you can't need it out in Rocket League. But doing what they're doing right now of staying in this offensive third, stealing the boost, forcing them to find these missed touches is such a big thing. Jakers with a breakout one here, so this could be the one that they need. It rolls up high. Tizzy looking for the touch. Matt in plays underneath it, but he cannot catch it, and Blue Gold takes one in response.
Now, let's be honest. If you could take a knee in Rocket League, that'd be the most toxic thing you could possibly do. Woo! But yes, you're right. You have yourself a tie series. It's now a best of 3.
The big thing that stood out to me there in that small moment, we got to look at scorecards, there were 12 shots coming off of the side of Blue Gold. That was not a number we saw in Game 1 from them. It flips the script. They kind of got comfortable in offense. They built a midfield wall and then just slowly seemed to move forward as they were able to take this second game.
Yeah, that comes down to concentration and trusting your teammates. Once you understand that you're not really compelled to be both sides, you say, hey, look, we're going to move together as a unit to really cut off that space. You have to make sure everyone's in sync, and Blue Gold found a way to do that. Yeah, it was the most efficient way of doing it with so many shots on frame, but it was effective for them.
It's the shotgun method, you know? Just throw it at the wall and see what sticks, especially when you're able to move a defense around as effectively as Blue Gold was there. And so now we've seen both teams, both offenses, at what might be their peaks, and the defensive had to have kind of withstood those, and we'll see what adjustments are made in Game 3 as we have found our way into a 1-1 tie. SIUC looking for an early one here. Matt with a double, but it goes off the crossbar. You said it, and it will continue to reign true. The crossbar refuses to play favoritism.
Oh, absolutely. That would have been a beautiful pass had that gone in, and as easily one to make you go, oh my gosh, and be frustrated in the chat, but to be there to have that position that says you know where your teammate was thinking, that's a good sign of Team Chem.
It's just unfortunate there on the side of SIUC, and Blue Gold had to be wiping a little bit of sweat from their brows. They go, ooh, not again, as the touch comes on towards that backboard. Oh, we've had a sub out, I believe, as now we have Lolo Folo in the game for SIUC. As I see that lot longer name in blue. A touch coming on there. BD trying to get some control here. Tizzy trying to follow this up, but it goes off of that side wall. A double commit on the side of SIUC Black. Matt M off of that corner, but Jakers being there means there's no real shot taker, so it's just a possession ball right now.
I wonder what was the cause for the change, having to sit its lurk from the first 2 games, maybe looking for more of a potent offensive attack, maybe looking for more a defensive thing, but right now it does seem a little bit of an energy that's different from SIUC, but they score first here in this one.
Well, able to get back to what they did in game 1, scoring first. Jakers had the soft touch, Matt M with the small finish, and that was a Goomba on top of Tizzy, just to kind of put a cherry on top of all of that.
Why not, man? If you gotta do it, make sure you look good while you're doing it, right?
Mm-hmm. And right now, SIUC currently 1-4, trying to find their second series win of the year in Blue Gold Esports. They are trying to make their way back to 500, and so 1-1 apiece in the series and 1-0 here in the game. SIUC out in front, but Blue Gold, they had all the offense last game, and I wonder if they can get mounting to it once again. It just kind of builds on their own side. That passing attempt denied by Lolo Folo. Gotta say, I love saying that name. That's a bump that's huge. It got Tizzy still on it, though.
This one here was a bit of a lazy bomber. I think everyone kind of gave up on the shot. I mean, I actually was going to put my head down and write in my notes. And I go, is anyone around there? No, the answer is no. And we have ourselves another goal and another tie there, Fu. What is that about?
Well, it's, we called the wedge in the first one, so this feels like the lazy fly ball in the midfield that no one got to. And then eventually they just make a way into home base. And so it ties it up 1-1. And that's something Rocket League needs to do. They need to come up with a baseball minigame. I would totally play it for like 14 minutes. And then
absolutely.
Lolo Folo looking for something midfield, but all he finds is just this red octane of Venomous waiting for it. Venomous almost venomous with the pass here, looking for BD, but he can't get it to fall. A touch off the backboard means it's stalled for now. A demo coming through, and SIUC having to just hold on right now as they are under siege from this Blue Gold team.
You know what? It's not really professional to give you your flowers now, but rhyming venomous with enemies, top tier stuff, man. This is why you are the GOAT. But it is halftime here. We're seeing a little bit of that aggression. Everyone's going up for the ball because they want to be the first ones to score to break this deadlock.
I mean, it's Novanta. Guess what? We're tied again right past the midway point. These two teams have very little separating them, including the score and including the series score now at this point. The only thing really going to be separating them is consistency of touches and who can find that one first, who can make that read, that misplay, or that big touch to kind of open it back up, and that is 2 players on that Blue Gold side. That is a beautiful pinch that just kind of ricochets it around. Jakers beat by Enemies, who's able to clear it out, but he has nothing in the tank to follow this up.
I don't want to be all Mr. Doom and Gloom, but I'm not a fan of the spacing that SIUC is employing. Hopefully, Blue Gold does not exploit that because it has been a little bit unorthodox in this game, despite the scoreline being tied at 1 apiece.
It's the old adage, if it works, if it's crazy and it works, then it might just be too crazy that the other team can't understand. And the ball goes off of this. I love the idea. Enemies can't pull it, though. That was one you make up and practice in that kind of free play. A dunk coming from BD, but he can't get it to fall. Lolo Folo waiting for it, but no, Enemies just waiting for it. Has the boost, has the ball, might have a double, but opts to let it fall instead.
Well, this right here is kind of tragic. You have SIUC completely out of position multiple times, but Blue Gold unable to convert. It makes you wonder who's more frustrated, the one being caught in the back foot all the time or the one who can't make the ball past the net.
I think it's both, honestly, and so just, hopefully frustrations don't boil over. Hopefully we see very contingent comms, very communicative, and they just continue to look for each other, and that's a double commit coming out there. Lolo and Matt both looking for that ball. Shot coming on from Tizzy, but Jakers just ready to corral that one. He's pushing off the ceiling to keep it at midfield. And so something I've enjoyed watching is how many times this ball stays at midfield. I feel like a heat map would actually have it almost perfectly in the center, as that touch was dangerous. Blue Gold, though, did not want to overcommit as they are trying to play and make sure they have the perfect touch on, the perfect shot on. But that crossbar again and again and again will refuse to allow one team to take advantage.
It's so interesting how that crossbar has been everyone's friend and everyone's enemy at the same time, but we're seeing these clears are just so dangerous because they don't seem to be all the way away, wide or left or right. It's kind of popped up aimlessly in front of the net, which makes me clutch my pearls every single time it happens. Something you don't really want to do. You want to swat that ball away as far as you can to give yourself time to breathe.
Oh, that was a beautiful dish from Inimus. BD was not ready for it. If you pre-jump that, I mean, it is difficult to pre-jump it. You have to be calling it the entire way. But that was there, that far post. Rule 0 still in effect here, Novanta. Shot coming on from BD. Lolo is there. He set it up, though. That's a save, not a clear. But no follow-up from Blue Gold means it goes away to OT.
I did not think I was going to have a 1-1 overtime, but yes, golden goal situation coming down to not capitalizing on opportunities. Let's see who's able to put that regular time period in the rearview mirror, because now the margin of error is evaporating. It comes down to who can score first.
Well, the thing I love watching about overtime is that the longer it runs on, Novanta, all the rotations, all the team ideas, and all the team tactics go out the window past about the 45 to a minute 15 second mark. It is just raw mechanics and who is communicating better. And so as we crest the first half minute here of this overtime, Jagers and company have the immediate offense, but no follow-up third once again, as both these teams don't want to overcommit. They don't want to miss it, and that is going to be going off a Lolo. Inimus puts a second one in, and that's going to give Blue Gold their second game.
Well, I'm a firm believer in having wide plays will stretch a defense, but I don't really see it going vertically. But still, there's also saying Blue Gold having 2 games won back-to-back there at series point.
And this kind of continues their way for them, as they were 3-2 2 weeks ago, 3-0 last week, and are trying to make it 3 Novanta in a row to bring them from an 0-3 start to a 3-3 current positioning if they can finish this one off. SIUC, it's just rough treading. They came out, they opened the door, they got it first blood in that first game, but now you have to kind of reel it back, get back to your offensive ways, and find a way, either if it's with that duo of dropping Lurk out and bringing Lolo Folo in, or switching those around and just getting a consistent identity.
Well, I would say that having Lolo Folo really made Blue Gold come up with new innovative ways to score, but they didn't really give SIUC the result they wanted, which means the dub, and now they're looking at a serious defeat if they're not careful.
Exactly, and neither team really wanting to do that right now with the records being the way that they are. Jakers playing slow here. He's going to try and push it under, but can't get it to go. So BD off the ceiling, baiting Matt M early, but Matt just, I'd call that the elevator, riding down to intercept that ball at the perfect point. A backflip there from Inimus is beat by Jakers, but it's just too speedy off that backboard for Matt M to do much with. And so it's more of just that possession, that controlling gameplay right now. As SIUC was given a chance, Lolo just a bit overzealous. That moment, like the God rays falling down on you, and you can hear the angelic music, and the open net was there, but it just gets a bit too exciting as it rolls off of the top of that Fennec.
I can tell you one thing when it comes to Rocket League, nothing scares me more than the words open net. Things clam up, you worry about your shooting accuracy. I've been there,
Wake
baby.
up in a cold sweat.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the defender? That is a big thing. It's not as big as a touch as Lolo Folo making that one go in for sure.
You know what? That's totally deserved after he was probably listening, or they were probably listening to me saying, Lolo Folo, I'm not really sure about them being a lineup, says, I'm going to make sure the caster says good job, and that was a good job. SIUC score first.
Yep, I got to watch Lolo Folo last week, and he was going up against another guy who had like a 4-syllable name as well, and they were also repeated, and so it was some of the funnest times when they 50'd each other. But Lolo Folo right now able to step in as this super sub, and gave them a bit of life last game, but gives them a lead in this one to break this ice in game number 4 as they try to bite back into this series and force a game 5 as that touch is still on. Tizzy having to deny it as Lolo starting to get zited in.
Well, that's the thing about these two teams. It does seem each game is very winnable. It isn't like a team is way better, way faster, or just have these crazy team sealing plays. There is a grit to both of these squads. It's very similar play. That's why sometimes you see so many goals come in rapid succession, and sometimes you see these defensive classics. So either team has a way to really just shift the tide in their favor. It comes down to who's more creative at this point.
Would you say creative is more or less drawing on the arts and easels with all the different colors, or creative is in drawing in the dirt?
I would say drawing in the air, man.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Going with with option C. Excuse me. I got it. We'll come in with this unorthodox answer to the question. That's what both of these teams are going to try to do, and come with this unorthodox attack, be it offense, defense, be it challenges or misreads. Is that ball still there? It's a double commit coming out, but Jaker's trying to get it to work on this. I feel like I'm watching popcorn in front of this net. The cards just keep going up and down, and the ball won't go in.
This right here is kind of fun to watch. It's like Cirque du Soleil here, interpretive dance, whatever you want to call it. It was so close to being in, and it's going the other way, and that's the worst thing to be on the end of. I love it, Futh, though. I love seeing Rocket League. I love seeing everyone go full forward when they are so close to scoring.
It's just, you need to be a little bit more steady on the defensive side. And when you look at a lot of sports and think of, I hate going to this way, but traditional sports defense is so emotional, right? You make the stop and you get off the field, or you make a stop in its transition. In Rocket League, it's about being calm and in control. And so you have to find that happy, we talk about balance of the scoreboard, but balance of being not too emotional, but not too lax. And so with those just kind of jumping around, it opens the door for SIUC, but they have to immediately reply on the defensive side. Jaker's saving that one. Matt can't get the clear, and that was an opportunity that Blue Gold couldn't find. Now going the other way, that's a redirect shot, but it's going to be denied by BD.
Yeah, composure really is the name of the game when it comes to having teams and formations that work as you get the playoffs. You know, less LeBron and James, more Tim Duncan, and you see a little bit of that composure
Fundamentals.
SIU to us. But the big fundamental, man, for a reason, it's going the other way now. The shot on goal, and here it is. And now we have ourselves a 2-goal advantage.
You talk about fundamentals. You talk about doing it right. This is the third committing, and there is no one left to play defense. Lolo Folo staying on top of it, getting another one, Novanta. And so the super sub having both goals in this game to give his team the lead.
Like a word play, the fender bender from Lolo Folo, the super sub, it's a goalie wolie. I don't know. But yes, you're right. 2-goal advantage. This is the last minute here in game 4.
Game number 4, Novanta. And you know what this means? If the score stays just like this for another 60 seconds or so, we'll be moving on to a game 5. Haven't seen one of those here in NECC, and it would be huge for both of these squads as they're trying to approach that kind of 500 mark or stay above it, as that 50 from Tizzy keeps the offense on. A demo is huge. Inimus given a chance, but he can't find it. It's either saving the flip or running out because of that pre-jump. Another demo. This is exactly what we need to be doing. We need to find changes there, but that denial from Lolo Folo. This guy has gotten locked in further and further. This game has gone on. I feel like I'm watching like a workhorse back right now. Just give him the ball more, and he seems to be getting better.
That's really the worst situation if you're Blue Gold. You have a sub come on. You know there's going to be wobbly chemistry for a little bit. You want to make sure they don't really get locked in. But so far, Lolo is locked in. And this is a different series now, Foof.
It is a different series. That double commit was huge, and he cannot get there, Matt M. It was just a bit too far from Tizzy, and Jaker's just... I love putting the reverse in. I wish you could edit in the backing up sounds of like those big trucks to make sure no own goals comes out. And that ball floating back down, and SIUC winning this one. So starting it with a win, and now winning in game 4 to force a game 5. And so, Novanta, an 11-shot game there coming out from SIUC. It seems whoever shoots above 10 seems to be the winner.
I guess. If you keep throwing the ball in the net, hopefully something goes in. What is accuracy, Foof? But you're right. You know,
overrated.
Exactly. Let the net decide if it goes in or not. Yes, game 5 situation here. Actually, a good classic. A good really show for both these teams about how you can counteract to what your opponent is doing. How do you have a counter strat? And if you're watching this as a neutral, you're in for a treat here because now you're going to see which team wants it more.
Well, it's more or less going to be not only do they want it more, Novanta, who wants it more in such a way that they do not get too emotionally invested in this. Don't get too high and don't get too low. You could score a big goal, but if you get too emotional on that goal, you give up a quick one. If you get too low after giving up a goal, there's going to be no way back into the game. So that first 15 seconds here, both teams had a possession on the end. That's a double commit here coming from the side of SIUC Black. That could be a shot on coming out, but Matt M reading it left to right like a book and sniping that one out. Tizzy beat there as Lolo Folo has a quick response, and it is just challenge after challenge after challenge right now.
Talk about pressure. I know both teams want to win this series. Everyone wants to get their records back in there, but I think there's a little bit more pressure on Blue Gold. They win this series, they're at 500, which puts them in a lot better position for playoffs. So I'm not trying to say I'm looking for them to see if they can handle the heat, but I would not want to be in their shoes this evening.
What's the old adage? If you can't handle the heat, get out of the offensive third? No, that's not it. But right now, that's exactly what That's what Blue Gold's having to do right now as they're cleared out. And Lolo Folo dribbling the ball, but not, as you're supposed to be dribbling it with him bouncing it between the wall and himself. Tizzy into the corner, a pass attempt. That's going to be going to Matt. Matt pulls the trigger and takes it off of the side post. Hello.
Well, growing up in Brooklyn, when we play street ball, we would say, look at this, in your eye. Look, wow, past 1.5 defenders. I was untouched. It was clean, baby.
Did he call bank? That's my most important question.
Bing bong.
But it does not matter. That's how SIUC gets back on top. So possibly scoring the opener in the first game and scoring the opener in the last game. They want to have a familiar ending to this one, and they look to try and take the series. At Blue Gold, they have been scored on first, and they won one of those games, and so neither team should be too out of their shell right now. Tizzy trying to move this ball laterally as it is just kind of stuck at midfield, but Blue Gold on the offense here. It's off the backboard. Playing up there is BD, but he's not in a favorable spot, so it just kind of stays nuisancely and annoyingly for this SIUC team, but on their half.
Yeah, on their half, they don't really have that much of a pressure to score right now, right here, because you tell Blue Gold's being a little bit frantic trying to get that possession, so they have more time on the ball. The question becomes now is you stay slow and low and slow for the long as you can, or do you try to play with the tempo a bit just to keep that defense off balance? But forget that if they score. Now they have a brand new plan. They have a tie game.
You want to talk get off balance? Jakers is in the way. This is a save the whole way, and then Tizzy says, get out of here, Mr. President. This way, please. And Blue Gold able to tie it up.
I love Rocket League, man. This is great. NECC action, baby. We have ourselves another tie in this series. Tizzy looking to be the heavy, the mechanic, whatever you want to be, do whatever they can to get Blue Gold in this series and make sure they have one step closer to being at 500 if they win this one.
And everyone will always notice the player with the mechanics on the ball, the player taking the shot in the replays, but they might not always notice the player off the ball making plays. And that unsung hero was Tizzy to give that team a tying goal, Novanta. And so now, just over 130 seconds left to play in regulation. Matt looking for this one, but he flipped early, so it's a back pass to Lolo. Lolo midfield, but Jakers cheats up too far, and so now all SIUC was up very far. It was a good job of slowing it down so there's no transitional play, but still a dangerous spot as they got to find themselves with a little bit of low boost tanks. Matt trying to bait out Enemies, almost doing so. Lolo going beat, but he can't get it to go as it falls off the backboard.
Well, that's all right. Why not try to be the one to break the deadlock? But you don't have to do anything too spectacular. You have the clock to your advantage. Not saying that you should park the bus and do nothing or wait the last possible second to score. But you don't have to rush a play if you don't have a forward path to net. Even though we've said just put the ball around the net and hopefully one that will go in. It's not usually a smart play.
Rumble, right? The old tornado power-up. I feel like that's what I'm looking at every time when it just gets in front of the net. It just spawns there, and the cars and the ball just goes swirling around, and at some point it's either going to go in or go the opposite way. And Lolo, it's literally a return to volley that went off the sidewall. Lolo returns it. Now it's a 2v1. BD, if he does not win that 50, it is going to the back of their net. Jakers was waiting for that pass, but it's turned back towards, guess what, this SIUC third. And so both teams, I feel like a little bit of a tennis match breaking out. So just volley it back and forth and chasing it down.
I gotta see how many sports references you can put in this match, man. Tennis, football, baseball, but you're giving us everything, and that makes this really cool to see, because I do feel like there's a little bit of that ping-pong action to your point, but we're also seeing a lot of those aerial plays, that interpretive dance in the sky as well.
And that was the opportunity. Jakers, though, was just a bit too far forward, and so he puts it back up high. That was a pass to a shot. Tizzy off the backboard here, but Matt M is there. Another denial in the air, and so now it's 3v1 BD. Such a dangerous push, but you don't touch that one if you're not confident. A shot coming on. Jakers has to get there. It's so awkward, but it does not matter. The time slowing down for that man in the net to keep it out of his own. So still tied. 10 seconds left to play. Tizzy looking midfield, but Matt is there, and so in the corner once again we go. A 50 coming out, and it puts it towards this orange half. Jakers playing up, and Tizzy off the sidewall. He needs to find another hammer. Does not have the boost, so it's up high, and this one's going to fall down. No one near it. OT game 5.
Game 5 overtime. Talking about pressure on top of pressure while being on stream pressure. Well, here you go. SIUC Black with a 1-4 record is looking to make quick work of a stronger team, quote unquote. And we all know the 500 aspirations of Blue Gold. Who is going to crack first there, Foof?
I can't tell you because both of these teams have had weird and come on now I can't predict it because it's unpredictable. They've had these weird crack points that sometimes it's like, oh, this should be a goal, and it's not, and other times, oh, it shouldn't be a goal, but it is. And so it's going to be who is able to find that consistent inconsistency and make an advantage of it.
That's actually a good point there when it comes down to the overtime period. We all know there's no room for error. It's game 5, so there's no other do-overs or try again. So it's kind of that muted thing of calculated risk. That's going to be the name of the game here, as we know it's a golden goal situation.
I just got to say, I love the quote. The risk I took was calculated, Novanta, but man, am I bad at math. You're that third person committing, and it just does not go well. But neither of these teams want to find themselves in that situation. I think a big thing for both of these squads is they stand at match point, as they stand in overtime here, is to play not to lose, but instead to play to win. The team that does that will have that best opportunity arise itself. But, again, it could be a quick transitional play. It could be a quick shot going the other way as Enemies off the backboard. Demos for each other. Tizzy is there. That's going to be on it. That's in. Tizzy seals the deal.
Wow, Tizzy, so much the third man, the heavy, the mechanic, the henchman, if you will, a hero today from the grave. Make sure in overtime.
Minion of the year.
Yeah, exactly. What a play. What a series.
And it's just a beautiful job getting the MVP medal as well as he finishes that series off, as well as the game, Novanta, able to put Blue Gold over this very feverish attempt from SIUC Black, and that improves Blue Gold to a 3-3 record that we talked about, putting them at that 500 mark.
Oh, absolutely. But this is what, the 5th series that SIUC has dropped in 5 games.
Yep.
Must be a hard feeling to do because your scoreline is basically belying your skill level to take all these teams, all these squads to a game 5. Frustrating loss for them, but just wasn't their night.
And it's just rough. One of these teams both having win streaks would unfortunately have to drop it, making it 1-1 in the last 2 weeks for SIUC, where Blue Gold continue their winning ways. Start 0-3 and then 3-0 in the past 3 weeks. So it's the 0-3 power spike, Novanta, trying to reverse sweep the season,
Yeah, why not? If you feel it, go for it. Power up to everybody.
Power-ups for everybody, us here included, but our power-up is going to be taking a short break, and so make sure you stay where you are. We have some more Rocket League coming up. We'll see you in a bit. Hey, you Twitch chat, we're back again. It's me, Foof, it's Novanta, and we're here on NECC 2. It is week 6, and it is our final match of the night. And we have a little bit of a running back for match number 2, a 3-2, playing into a 1-4. We have Marywood University Pacers playing against the Lambton Lions Esports. Novanta, we have one more to go.
Yeah, one more to go. We're doing a local comparison while we're in the green room, but now it's time for fight night. You're right. It's a 1-4 versus a 3-2. This one, Marywood has that one game advantage. They're above 500 by series. They want momentum, but then you have Lambton Lions looking to get themselves in the win column as the season goes on.
That's the question. Are we going to see Lambton Lambs or the Lambton Lions tonight? Who knows? As they are looking to try and come back, as they have lost a couple in a row now. Whereas Marywood also coming off of a loss. So both these teams want to get back to their winning ways. And it's going to be a very fun kind of meshing point to see who can do just that in this week 6 matchup. Looking at the side of the Pacers, have an interesting group here as we are looking at this roster. You have the bringing of Jake Nader, Jay Marsh, and I believe that's Kylo. It is Kylo.
Yeah, you have yourself a little bit around the horn, a senior, junior, and freshman all coming together. So you're going to see a little bit of that experience mixed with some of that fresher blood here on the Pacer side. And you got to look at Lambton Lions also with a staff coming with a little bit of a different flavor on them. Even though they're coming from a bit of a win-loss record that's that favorable, they're coming with the strongest three. I believe it's Steele, the Whale, and Culzim on that side.
No, it's just that combination looking from Lambton that is, has been as strong as it can be from them. And that is such a young squad, 2 sophomores and a freshman. So, obviously not the record that they want right now in this Emergents Red division. But with this young of a squad, it's something you might kind of, rest the storm as well. You get this kind of footing underneath you and try to get them as much experience, stream experience, and game experience as you can.
We also have J.W. Brewski in for the Whales. My mistake. Steele Culzim and J.W. Brewski will be in for the Lambton Lions. So you're right there. For a little bit of a different clash of style, a little bit of a different flash of energy. It's going to be a good one.
Well, it's young, it's energetic, it's some old, some new. Something orange and something blue, perhaps, with the 2 different teams. And so both of these teams looking to start right and take that first step with 5 minutes on the clock. 6 cars on the field and a possible 5-game stretch ahead of us, Nirvana.
Yeah, if you have yourself a little bit of an invitation to a Rocket League wedding, something old, new, borrowed, orange, and blue, I love it. But yes, it's 50 seconds in there, and these 2 teams are already playing as if it's a game 2, game 3 situation. A lot more aggressive, a lot using the width of the pitch, which is not things that teams don't really do in game 1. And it's happening here, which means these 2 teams want to score quickly and efficiently.
I will say just a small thing here is never mind. I don't even get to finish it. No, a great save coming out of Lambton. Lambton, they are like a green and gold team, and Lambton is that light blue team, and Marywood is that kind of green gold team. I'm like, man, I wish the blue team was on the blue side. Green and gold team was on the orange side, but unfortunately, that's how it falls out here. As Jay Marsh into the corner looking for a pass, keeping it slow right now is this Pacers squad as we have passed this first 60 seconds of gameplay, and there's been an opportunity for both sides, but very tentative and don't want to overstep here in game 1.
Yeah, things you got to realize that's something up here. We say we don't really use much of that in this one, but you have to test your corners and see how fast the defense reacts to your shots around the horn. Once you get that done, once you have that data in your collection, in your back pocket, you know how you can attack when you get things get really going.
The big thing is kind of getting those empty spots on the map and filling them up as fast as you can so you know what to look for. And J. Marsh and company have had opportunities. They've just not been able to capitalize right now as the Pacers trying to find their 4th win on the season. We're Lambton trying to find their 2nd. J. Marsh over that defender, but there's still 2. One coming off the respawn. Jake Nader can't get there. J. Marsh denied there at the point of attack by this Lion defender. And so, once again, we're back onto this Pacers 3rd of 50 there as well. And it's going to slowly float into this corner where it settles. J. Marsh fighting for possession here. That's a shot on, and another desperate save coming through.
This one here was a desperate save, and that prevents the first score, but we saw that everyone kind of circled off of that corner defense. Again, when it comes out that first minute, taking stock of how long it takes the defense to react coming from that corner. You can accurately pick an angle, and that one there was on frame and on target. Got swatted away, but I appreciate finding the research and executing that.
Here we are, 7 seconds here before cresting that midway point in game number 1. And if you kind of look at it right now, Marywood has had more of the possession, but I don't know if they have the momentum per se. As they're doing a good job of finding finding boosts and finding the touches, they've just not been able to capitalize on them. As Colson is beat in the corner, the ball rolling around. Jakeinator with a long clear, gets it over 1, and now it's Kylo 50ing there to keep the pressure on. It's a 2v, none if he can pass it soon. No, he's opting to take the shot. J Marsh cannot find it, and so we still stand at a 0-0 scoreline in game 1.
Kind of an uncanny valley situation there. You got to either take the full-on shot or go for the pass, but what we saw was a little bit trying to find that valley in between, and it didn't work out for anyone. Sometimes committing is good. You have to pick a side there.
Well, it worked out for Lambden, I'd say, but
yeah,
they stay alive, they stay 0. That's a... No, he didn't find the bump and steal. I like this idea. Steele, instead of pulling the trigger, gets a controllable touch and trying to open the door there for Colzum. Steele once again denied. And I gotta say, I love that G2 Esports white decal. That white car is just so clean comparatively to other ones. That's a shot coming on. I love the phase clean decal as well. J Marsh putting it off the back where it rolls back down. This is a 2v1 opportunity, and it stays there climbing the ladders. That third player pushing up. Kylo, though, too far to the right. So I feel like both teams are trying to get sighted in as they've been wide, they've been high, they've been low, and they've been short and tall. They just have to put it in the net now.
Yeah, everything works out for them, and as you said, right on cue, Kylo makes a quick work. Marywood, like to your point, it was that wide, there was that down the street, there was a top down, but this one here is a little bit of that thing we all didn't see coming. I thought it would be another attempt being done and having to reset, but to scoop that up, make that count is amazing. 1-0 Marywood.
Yep, Steele just a bit too slow there, and Marywood taking full advantage of it. Now it's a second one going off of the crossbar and down. J Marsh just needs the softest touch, but opts to go for a lot harder one than needed, so it turns into a pass. And if that 50 was one, it was going Lambton's way, but they cannot get it to work right now. Colson is destroyed. That is, oh my goodness, the 50s and the secondary touches coming through, but no goal. It stays 1-0 for Marywood.
Oh, that was really unfortunate to be there, to be a little bit of that second attempt there. That time, the second time it was a crossbar, but gotta give props for being able to get on target. And well, as I say that, Kylo makes another one happen for Marywood.
Just reading in here off of J Marsh's touch, then playing off the pass. Two defenders there. They collide. No one really knows. The communication breaks down, and Kylo sees that open post and takes full advantage of it.
Well, you got to do that because you see how we saw so much on this stream already today that leads can go really quickly. So you have every opportunity. You got to strike hard.
Hard is a most important thing here, but striking, I got to say, consistently is going to be a key in this series, and Jakeinator and company want to try and find some consistency of their own, as they have just been in spurts incredibly well in offense, but just get denied by these 50s and then can't find a follow-up touch. It leads to a big clear. J Marsh looking for a breakaway one there, but can't get it to fall. 4-3-2. It's now physically impossible to come back, but Lambden trying to get one for the road. The ball at midfield, it's staying high. Steele finding a pass, but Jakeinator intercepts. They're not going to let it fall. J Marsh going the other way, and he's going to put it in.
All right. I know they say save some of that for the next game, but if you're feeling the hot hand, go for it. But as I thought it was going to be a 2-0 scoreline, J Marsh makes it a tray.
Just banging it into the back of that. Playing Rule 0 perfectly and making sure that Marywood stays on top and starts to add to that goal differential perhaps in this season. But that is one the Pacers certainly needed, and they get it under themselves and kind of can take a deep breath and now worry about game 2. Whereas the side of the Lions, you know, not a bad opening, but when you start to get down, you have to kind of clean some of that back end up, find defensive strengths, find good 50s, and find a way off your own half.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind that Marywood was the strongest team going in. So there was that pressure in there to not be stunned in that first game. And after the first 2 minutes, I was kind of worried. It could have been anyone's series there, but Marywood did what they had to do. Now it comes down to looking at Lambton. What do you have planned? A stronger team has found a way to hit a loss on you. How do you react? How do you regain?
Well, that is always the million-dollar question, Novanta. Great teams know how to respond to adversity, and so it'll separate the good ones from the great ones. And right now, both teams trying to make themselves great here in this regular season Week 6 matchup. 10 seconds already off the clock, and Lambton had an opportunity. It's going back the other way. J Marsh returning to Cinder. He's got to find another one and does. It's low here. He's able to beat a second, but can't beat the third as Steele was just waiting for that one to fall back down to them. In the corner, once again we go. Jake just playing really slow and in control right now. Doesn't want to overforce that pinch off of the sidewall. Trying to kickstart offense here for Marywood, but the Pacers, a little bit awkward and discombobulated at midfield.
Yeah, a little bit awkward, discombobulated, but Lambton is not really doing anything as far as a counterattack or punish. It's kind of like they are content with just stopping the run of play and then kind of letting off. So it really puts you, Marywood in this case, in a weird situation. You keep going forward, you try to bump first, you try to pass back. I think that's what's really happening here. It's slowing down the pace, but nothing's really come of it as of yet.
Well, the most important thing is just being 100% certain on whatever you do, just like J-Dub Brooksy is being 100% certain on that one on the dish from Steele.
Well, J-Dub, Ukrainian flag waving in the wind, make quick work of this one. Taking a bit of the scraps. I thought it was going to be a done deal, having that knocked away, but putting it back is super important. Lambton opened the scoring here in game 2.
And that is a way that Lambton can kind of strike back. Now they have a little bit of their own. They've been on offense for most of this game. It's 1:10 off of the clock. The first 80 or so seconds kind of residing on this Marywood half. J Marsh off the backboard trying to find a teammate. That is an awkward spot to stop, but Golzum, you know what? Just playing patiently. A shot back post, and Kylo finds it again.
Well, that right there is a misfortune after a fortune. You're like, oh, that's good positioning. Oh, wait, that's awkward positioning. You never even moved. But yes, we have ourselves a tie game based on a little bit of ping pong at the net.
He did the old dare them to shoot at him part. And they shot at him the first time and then realized the mistake and put it behind him the second time. So a tied ball game here with 90 seconds off of this clock now. Marywood and Lambton, one apiece in the game, but Marywood 1-0 in the series and are looking to try and possibly force a match point game after this one. Jake and Nader putting a shot on, but Colzum is there. Pass out midfield, but it turns into a back pass that is just dangerous, written all over it until J March clears it out for now.
So we got a little bit of that down period. You have one goal each, and I wonder if anyone had a plan of having goals in bunches. That's out the window now. So it comes down to controlling pace and regaining that possession to really make your opponent play your style of Rocket League.
Yeah, I'm just going to have that momentum swinger where probably one team starts to score, but it's just punch, counter punch right now. Jake and Nate are giving it a chance, but no, it's up to J Marsh, and that double commit means nothing coming of it, and that is a orange player. I couldn't see who was running that streak down the field. That is two players committing here in the near post. J Marsh able to sift through that and find it behind his teammate. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous there when you have two committing for the same ball in the defensive third.
Yeah, you don't want to have double commits or triple commits, and I know sometimes it's unavoidable when things got hot and heavy, but it is kind of curious if it's happening now when the pace seems to be slowed down just a bit. Maybe it's a bit of crossing streams, or maybe it's just a little bit of a mismatch in DC, but something that can really end up punishing you later on.
Oh, I love the shot attempt there, but it goes off of the post. Colzum and J.W. Brookley looking for that one. Steele backing up and retreating to his own corner. Just, backing up the whole way. This is not exactly where you want to be driving. That is Kylo seeing the opportunity and taking the chance.
Well, that is advice for life there, Foop. You see an opportunity is waiting for you, calling you, beckoning your name. You got to put yourself in the position. Let your defense figure it out, and they didn't. 2-1 Marywood within 2 minutes to go.
One chance, one shot, one moment, possibly, and making sure you do not miss. And that's a way to do it. Marywood back out on top. The ball back into the corner once again we go. Steele looking off the backboard, but Jake and Nader is there. Sidewall touch, and it rolls slowly and lowly up the field. It bounces off the backboard. But I love this Lions defense. I feel like I'm watching, it's like bracelets that you can slap onto your wrist that'll go to your the shape of your wrist. You get them at the book fairs. Yep,
that's what cool when I was a kid. That was a 90s thing, bro.
I was born in the 90s. I can claim that, okay?
Oh, my goodness. Old man Foof is something I didn't know I would say, but here we are.
But we were talking about it beforehand, but we're not talking about that because Jake and Nader able to catch it here. The discombobulation, the miscues on the defense. There's no one in net. J-Dub trying to get home, but unfortunately the front door has been blown off its hinges.
Yeah, you find a penny, pick it up all day, you have good luck. The ball was just wandering aimlessly, no owner. Why not put it back where it belongs?
We take this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a misjump from Steel and the missed touch coming from Jakeinator. My hands are on my head from both of those happening. And you talk about a two-part tragedy. That is both teams wanting that ball back and both teams kind of waving that sigh of relief as that was Steel just having nerves of Steel as that demo went right in front of his grill. A touch coming on Marywood, up by 2 in this game and trying to be up by 2 in the series as Lambden has less than a minute left to play.
Yeah, less than a minute to play, a 2-goal advantage for Marywood, and I wonder what's going through their mind right now. Is it an issue of just saying, hey, look, this is not really our game, let's reset for the next one? You're going to try to get those 2 goals in 30 seconds.
What's the old adage, Novanta? Regain. And so that's what they need to do. They need to regain. They have to get back in control. And that really starts with that defensive end and getting back onto the offensive side. This is a beautiful pass. It opens the door, but it's banged off the post. This is one for J-Dub, and he puts it up and over. It is going to be difficult, but not impossible.
Well, there you go, Foo. Somehow changed the game. 2 goals in 20 seconds seems insurmountable. 1 goal in 11 seconds, definitely doable. Can they do it? Will we have ourselves a tie game?
It's the old adage. 3 is 2, 2 is 1, and 1 is none, Novanta. And so now, what they need is a big 50 right here. Steel wanting to win this, but J-Marsh keeping the pressure on. 6-5-4 shot coming from Kylo, and he wants to slam that door shut.
No. I'm sitting here in the casting booth, building all of this suspense, making it sure it's all kind of hype, and you just deflate everything. I see you, Marywood. I see you.
Listen, the Pacers trying to set the pace of this series and take 2 in a row and looking to stay ahead, and will do just that. 1-0s now. The ball hitting just a formality. Can't get that one to go. The Pacers take another one off the back of that man jumping in the air. Kylo, 3 goals, I believe, on 4 shots.
Well, this one here was a little bit kind of fun. We talked about this all night, about being creative. But these goals came from different parts of the net. Some of them were crimes of opportunity. Some of them were individual efforts. This is what we're talking about. These goals were coming at different times, different parts of the field, putting everyone on the back foot. So, hey, Marywood, do it one more time. You have yourself the sweep. And if you're Lambden, I don't know. Maybe you have to go to that bag of tricks because you don't want to get swept here in 3 games.
Well, that's the thing, is both teams are now running furiously to the closet, Novanta, because either one's going to get the broom out or the other has to try and look at turning the closet upside down and reversing this whole situation. Is now a slow roller on the sidewall from the kickoff means neither team has too much possession. That 50 is huge, but J-Marsh just collects that one as it rolls to his nose, and the ball staying in this Marywood corner. Lambden, when they had opportunities early in that second game, mind you, they were able to score early, so this is what they're trying to do again. J-Marsh, though, able to break out. He's in a 1v1. Steel staying low here. That double tap opportunity, but he can't get to it. Kylo touches the tire, so it goes off to the side instead of being a shot.
Well, it was this shot, but that says a little bit of that urgency that I was looking for Lambden here. You know, even though we were still tied at 0-0, the aggression is definitely the side of that orange side because they know what's at stake here. They want to be able to lose it, but to make sure you don't lose, you got to force at least a game 4 or 5.
Well, it's just kind of getting on to the next game, and I think the most important thing here for Lambden is scoring goal number 1, as that is a beautiful 50 in front of J-Marsh, but he does a better job of staying with it. The save coming out. Steel now trying to run into this one. He has the boost, but forgot the ball as it rolled behind him and falls out of his pockets there. It's on that offensive third here for Marywood, and they're finally broken free. Colson flipping the pitch here and getting it into this corner for now, but it's just slowly rolling back to this Lambden side. So the Lions need to find something here.
Well, here's a question I have for you, man. What would Foof do in this situation? Someone has goaded yourself. Yes, that's great. But what exactly? Will you try to be aggressive and go for the demo, or will you try to go for the shot here? My best, this guy.
That is my favorite answer if anyone asks
Positively
me
toxic.
What X anyone needs to do. Their best. That's all you can do in a situation. But it depends on where you are. If I was in Marywood right now and I'm rotating through on J-Marsh, is like right there. When he rotates off of that line, he did a great job of rotating straight through so that goaltender wasn't the line. It's a demo or a bump, but you don't want to go into the net because it's overreaching, and then you only have 2 players, possibly 1 on the defense. So it's just about understanding where you are as a player and where your opponents are, and a shot coming on maybe, but Kylo, no, a bit too high, and just keeping this pressure on Lambden's side.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. The pressure has definitely been pushed onto the Lambden side, and you kind of wonder if it's somehow you're getting beat on the sides, you're getting beat down the middle. What's left? What other passing lanes do you have? There are definitely left and right thirds in between the walls. But you know what? As I say that, Merriwood scores anyway. Without Lambden's looking at a deficit. Forget trying to score first. Now they get themselves back in the game.
That's two players playing up. The third man was also expecting some sort of touch, and so he was trying to back it up. But then all of a sudden, with nothing there, the ball chipped up. No one able to find an answer, and the Lions back down by 1.
Back down by 1. You have half of a game to really regain, but it's not so much them scoring a goal because that seems to be pretty much par for the course. Score 1, you're tied, bro. We're coming down to tactics. What exactly is going to be your path to victory here? Because as we get into the late stages of this third game, I really can't figure out what's the strat being employed, or is it just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, which is fine. It works before, but you can't bank on that, especially as you look towards the end of the season.
It's just kind of banking on whatever you can. That soft touch is going to put more on, and more is just enough as Jay Marsh able to sneak that one, the and one there off the demo.
Yeah, anyone off the flames, rising like the ashes of the phoenix. Why not double the scoreline there, Jake? 2-0.
I mean, that is just insanity right now, as that opened the door for Merriwood to be up by 2, and Lambden, that mountain just beginning to get taller and taller as they're down 2 games. They're down 2 goals now and have less than 120 seconds to find this answer and make it their match.
Well, here's a chance. Here's an opportunity. You know, you look at Lambden being down by 2 goals. It's very easy to look at that clock and think every passing second, every passing beat, it's kind of that pendulum swinging ever so lower. But it really comes down to, can you get that out of your mind? It's not that hard to score against a team as Merriwood. They have the lead. They are the stronger side, but their defense is porous in parts. Find the holes to get yourself back in this one.
It's just, you know, it's the first step, Navante. You got to lay the first brick down. You have to take the first step outside of the house in that long journey. And if they can find a way to do that, the rest of the road is kind of just staying along that track. But I mean, Merriwood just continuing to put any and all pressure on, and J Marsh doing it again.
Well, usually we would say something like the dagger, but that was like a broadsword. You come across the wall, you stuff that in there. Goodness me. That's 3 goals scored, 3 goals unanswered.
See, broadsword, maybe I was thinking more of like a chair, you know. Broadsword can have a little bit of a cleave. That just felt like a thunk, you know, just to put him down and just let it go. But Kylo can't get to it like he wanted. He wanted a shot there, but instead he got the touch. And Lambden now, 58 seconds to find 3, possibly 4, as Kylo has been so dangerous, but he's off to the side there. Touch coming on, but a save at the last second keeps Lambden alive with only a 3-goal deficit.
Well, look, it looks like it's going to be pretty much a high mountain to climb, but it's very important for your own morale to see if you can score. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You can't go 5 minutes without scoring in Rocket League, win, lose, or draw. So you guys do something, anything you can to get one back.
Bump. Tolson was so ready for that one, and the bump on the back end stalls it the whole way. J-Dub needed to slow down with that one. He's got no boost, and that's a great setup for Colson as he pushes a touch on. He's got to find a pass to midfield. J Marsh keeping it in front and Steele not ready for it here. A demo coming through, but the clear all the way back down to this Lions third. And so Jake Nader and Merriwood, the Pacers, looking to put this one away. Put an exclamation point perhaps on it, but that one denied by that pesky post.
That last goal drive was just a heartbreak right there. That goal was dead to rights, but the defense was too strong. Merriwood wins this one in 3 straight.
3 in a row. Put them up, set them up, and knock them down, said Merriwood. And that was a 3 for 6 shooting there by J Marsh. And so having the hats off for the hat trick, but a total of 8 shots on the side of that Pacers squad is just a bit too much offense to hang sometimes.
Yeah, what's more telling is that we have 3 straight 0-3s for Lambden. I wonder if something's going wrong with the morale. Maybe the chemistry is kind of off. It's not very often you see teams lose so many straight games and straight matches. I hope they find a way to regain.
Well, the big thing there is, again, the positive to look at this is you look at the whole team. Sophomore, freshman, sophomore, freshman. They are so young. And so it's about getting that cohesion, getting this team just as much experience as you can. And sometimes that experience, Devant, is playing against teams that are more ready now to make
Right.
these wins. And so unfortunately with an 0-3 here, that never feels good, especially 3 weeks in a row. But on the opposite side, the Pacers now move to 4-2, staying above that 500 mark and trying to improve on their playoff chances.
Well, that 4-2 may seem sweet, but there's a lot of challenges on the horizon. But being 2 games above 500 puts you that much closer to the playoff picture.
And that much closer to a playoff picture we are, because that was our last series of the night. I want to say, you see that @ sign over there. Make sure you follow that guy on a lot of different places. He does a lot of different things. Incredibly talented and a great person to watch. I always love watching him, so I'm biased. And I want to say thank you guys so much for stopping by here at NECC. Make sure you drop a follow and stay in touch here, because we don't just have Rocket League. We have a ton of different esports. We're technically not supposed to say them for Rocket League streams, so make sure you check and watch the other stuffs around here. I'm Foof. This is Novanta. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you later.